Good morning, doctors and friends. We are from SGD B2 are going to present our presentation about acute myeloblastic leukemia. Next. And so here is our member. Next. Now will be continued by my friend.
Blood cancer or leukemia remains a threatening condition in both children and adults. The most common acute type of leukemia in adults is acute myeloblastic leukemia or acute myeloid leukemia. It is considered rare and has the lowest survival rates compared to other types of blood cancer. Main characteristics of this type of cancer is diminished hematopoiesis and bone marrow failure, supported by underlying hematological disorder, age, and as a consequence of prior therapies. The incidence rate of this disease is 1.3 per 100,000 in patients younger than 65 years old and in 12.2 in patients older than 65 years old. The advanced treatments of AML has helped to improve outcomes and conditions of young patients, but the prognosis of the older age group still remains poor. Experts in the field are focusing on new drug targets and improvements in the knowledge of the biology of AML. But the treatment still relies on the same methods for 3 decades, such as intensive chemotherapy and allogeneic stem cell transplantation. Next, here are the objectives of the research. Next, and here are the benefits of the research.
The number of acute myeloid leukemia cases among men and women per year is about 4.2 per 100,000 population. There are over 20,000 cases per year in the United States, with the average age at time of diagnosis is 65 years. Acute myeloid leukemia is more prevalent among non-Hispanic whites. Cases of acute myeloid leukemia have more predominance in males compared to females, with a ratio of 5:3.
Acute myeloblastic leukemia occurs when the stem cell in the bone marrow change or mutation in their DNA genetic material. Mutation cause bone marrow cell to grow and divide continuously. As a result, the production of blood cell becomes uncontrolled. Bone marrow produce immature cell that develop into leukemic white blood cell called myeloblasts. This abnormal cell cannot function properly, have no infection-fighting properties, and they can build and excrete healthy cell from our body. When the number of immature cells increase, the number of healthy red blood cells and platelets decrease and cause many symptoms of leukemia. It is not clear what caused the disease, but several factors increase the risk of developing AML.
Okay, so now let's talk about the risk factor for AML or acute myeloblastic leukemia. So the first one is age. Actually, AML can occur at any age, but as people get older, it became more common. The second is gender. Actually, male is more common to get AML than females, but the reasons are still unknown. The third is smoking. So AML is correlated to cigarette smoke, which contain chemical substances such as benzene and other known cancer-causing chemicals. And these chemicals can get into bloodstream and then finally spread into many parts of the body. The fourth is cancer treatment. Why? So some drugs called alkylating agents could cause myelodysplastic syndrome that could increase the risk of AML. Myelodysplastic syndrome usually happens before AML, while the other drugs like topoisomerase II inhibitor could cause AML even before myelodysplastic syndrome occurs. Next will be continued by my friend.
Okay, I'm going to continue for the risk factors. The fifth one is radiation. High-dose radiation exposure can increase the risk of developing acute myeloblastic leukemia. The sixth one is certain blood disorder, which some people who have myelodysplastic syndrome or MDS might develop the acute myeloblastic leukemia because it has low blood cell counts and abnormal cells in the blood and also bone marrow. The next one is genetic syndrome, which some syndromes that are caused by genetic mutations present at birth seem to raise the risk of acute myeloblastic leukemia. And the last one is family history, which, as we all know, most cases of acute myeloblastic leukemia have a strong link with genetics, so having a close relative with acute myeloblastic leukemia also increases the risk of getting the disease. That's all I can present. Thank you.
Some differential diagnoses for acute myeloid leukemia or AML are acute lymphoblastic leukemia or ALL, aplastic anemia, and B-cell lymphoma. So the first is acute lymphoblastic leukemia or ALL. This is a virulent proliferation and transformation of lymphoid progenitor cells in the extramedullary sites, blood, and bone marrow. ALL reflects the accumulation of melanin, so it becomes one of the clinical manifestations of ALL. The patient with ALL also has other symptoms such as fever, signs and symptoms of anemia, blood clots, bleeding, disseminated intravascular coagulation, and others. And the second differential diagnosis is aplastic anemia. So aplastic anemia is a syndrome in which bone marrow failure occurs. The disease can be characterized by peripheral pancytopenia and marrow hypoplasia. The clinical signs and symptoms of this disease are pallor, headache, palpitation, dyspnea, fatigue, foot swelling, gingival bleeding, and others. And the last is B-cell lymphomas. So B-cell lymphomas are clonal tumors. It is divided into mature and immature B cells, where 80 up to 85% of its majority is non-Hodgkin lymphomas or NHLs.
The underlying pathophysiology of AML, or the acute myeloblastic leukemia, consists of maturational arrest of the bone marrow cells, or myeloblasts, in the earliest stage of development. It is very similar to acute lymphoblastic leukemia and is usually divided into two stages, with the first one being the decreasing production of normal blood cells and the second one being the rapid proliferation of the abnormal myeloblasts. The first stage is characterized by thrombocytopenia, neutropenia, and anemia, while the second stage is characterized by ineffective erythropoiesis and bone marrow failure. This is due to the accumulation of the malignant cells in spleen, bone marrow, and blood.
So I'll present about diagnosis of acute myeloblastic leukemia. First is bone marrow sample. There are two tests for bone marrow that are usually done in same time, such as bone marrow aspiration and bone marrow biopsy. For bone marrow aspiration, the doctor will give local anesthetic and a syringe will use to suck out a small amount of liquid bone marrow. For bone marrow biopsy, a small piece of bone marrow is taken with larger needle into the bone. Second is lumbar puncture or spinal tap. HML can spread into brain and spinal cord, so this test will be useful. Third is complete blood count. Most patients with HML has too many immature white cells called myeloblasts in their blood. So in CBC, we can find many immature white cells and not enough red blood cells or platelets. Fourth is blood chemistry and coagulation test. This test measures the amounts of certain chemicals in blood and ability of the blood to clot. Fifth is written cell exam by microscope. There are three samples that used for diagnosis, such as blood, bone marrow, and CSF. One of these samples look under microscope and we can see many immature cells called myeloblasts. Six is cytochemistry. Cytochemistry is used for supported tests. 7 is flow cytometry and immunohistochemistry. Leukemia cells will have different antigens depending on which type of cells they start and how mature, so this information will helpful for HML classification. 8 is imaging tests. For imaging tests such as X-ray, CT scan, MRI scan, and ultrasound are not useful for diagnosis because leukemia doesn't form a tumor. Imaging tests often used to look for another infection or other problems related with leukemia rather than diagnosis for leukemia itself.
Okay, the clinical findings of acute myeloblastic leukemia. The most frequent clinical features are fever, weakness, and bleeding tendency. But some patients also presented like body aches, respiratory complaints, hepatosplenomegaly, or other abdominal complaints. Next. So this is the table. As we can see, this is the table of clinical presentation of the AML patients at the time diagnosis. Next.
There are 4 standard treatments for acute myeloblastic leukemia. Firstly, there is chemotherapy, which is the main treatment for acute myeloblastic leukemia, and it is done by injecting an anti-cancer drug into a vein under the skin through a cerebrospinal fluid or by taking the drug orally. The anti-cancer drugs that are commonly used in chemo are cytarabine and an anthracycline drug such as daunorubicin or idarubicin. Next, there is radiation therapy, which is performed by using a high-energy X-ray or other type of radiation to kill cancer cells or to stop them from growing out of control. Radiation therapy is also used before beginning stem cell transplant therapy. Next, there is stem cell transplant. Chemotherapy can be more effective in higher doses, but it might cause damage to the bone marrow, and other side effects might also occur. Stem cell transplant is performed in order to give higher doses of chemotherapy to patients. There are 2 types of stem cell transplants: allogenic stem cell transplant, which uses a donor stem cell that closest matches the patients, and an autologous stem cell transplant, which uses the patient's own stem cells. And lastly, there are other drug therapy which uses anti-cancer drugs such as arsenic trioxide and all trans-retinoic acids that kill leukemia cells, and it is more commonly used in a subtype of acute myeloblastic leukemia, which is acute promyelolytic leukemia. Other than the standard treatments, there are also imaging treatments such as target therapy that may cause less harm and less side effects than radiation and chemotherapy. Next.
Most of the occurrence of acute myeloid leukemia is not fully explained. Risk factors for acute myeloid leukemia include gender, history of leukemia treatment, and history of blood disorders such as myelodysplastic syndrome. There are, however, few controllable risks that can be minimized with sufficient effort. Smoking cessation is by far one of the most significant controllable prevention of acute myeloid leukemia. It greatly reduces the chance of developing acute myeloid leukemia, and in addition, non-smokers are also less likely to develop any other type of cancers. Minimizing the use of chemotherapy or finding alternative medication may also help prevent occurrence of acute myeloid leukemia. The obvious benefit of chemotherapy in cancer patients should be balanced against the risk of developing acute myeloid leukemia as a secondary consequence. Albeit generalized, diet is an important area for direct intervention of cancer development. Evidence shows that excess body fat substantially increases the risk for many types of cancer.
As a conclusion, AML could occur when the stem cell in the bone marrow experience changes or mutation and producing immature cells that develop into leukemic. Ratio of cases is 5:3 with predominantly male, average age of 65 years old. Risk factors of AML are age, gender, smoking behavior, cancer treatment, radiation, certain blood disorder, genetic syndrome, and family history. Next. Pathophysiology of AML consists of maturational arrest of bone marrow cells in the earliest stage of development or the hematopoietic system. There are some examination for diagnosing AML such as bone marrow samples, lumbar puncture, CBC, blood chemistry and coagulation test, routine cell exam, cytochemistry, flow cytometry, immunohistochemistry, and imaging tests. Differential diagnosis of AML are acute lymphoblastic leukemia, aplastic anemia, and B-cell lymphoma. Next.
Okay, for clinical findings, there are fever, weakness, bleeding tendency, body pain, dyspnea or cough, hepatosplenomegaly pallor, lymphadenopathy, infection or oral ulcers, and weight loss. For the treatments, there are chemotherapy, radiation therapy, chemotherapy with stem cell transplant, and other drug therapy. For the prevention, there are smoking cessation, minimizing the use of chemotherapy or finding alternative medication, creating a better workplace environment, controlling diet, and avoiding carcinogenic compounds in diet. So that is all from us. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.